Welcome to this explainer. Right off the bat, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself stepping out of a sleek car and right onto the red carpet at the Met Gala. You can totally see it in your mind, right? The absolutely blinding lights, rows and rows of paparazzi. Everyone is shouting your name. In a setting like that, being seen is the whole point. Literally every step you take is noticed. Every tiny little expression on your face is captured forever, and your outfit is being scrutinized by millions of people. For those few seconds, you are completely, undeniably visible. Now, what's super interesting here is that feeling so exposed in that situation makes total sense. You feel incredibly vulnerable because, well, millions of people actually are watching you. Your brain is just reacting perfectly to the environment. The flashing lights are real, the cameras are real, and that intense, heavy focus on you, it's entirely real. But here's where it gets absolutely fascinating. That exact same feeling, that weird sensation of being seen, of being intensely noticed, of feeling just a little bit exposed, it doesn't actually stay at the Met Gala. It follows us. It sneaks right out of those dramatic, high-stakes events and slips quietly into our most ordinary, boring, everyday moments. Think about it. Think about just walking into the break room at work, or saying one single sentence in a Zoom meeting. Usually right after you forgot you were on mute. Maybe it's meeting someone new at a super casual hangout, posting a random picture online, or honestly, even just hitting send on a quick text message. These are incredibly tiny, quiet moments. There's literally zero drama happening. And yet, totally unprompted, this sudden, subtle awareness just washes right over us. It's all about those silent questions that immediately start looping in our heads. Wait, how am I coming across right now? Did that joke land okay? Did they notice I stumbled over my words? This is what we call the internal spotlight. In that perfectly mundane moment, it genuinely feels like you're being watched. It's not loud, and you might not even realize it's happening at first, but the glow is just bright enough for you to feel the heat of it. And this brings us to the core illusion we're breaking down today. Almost all of the time, that spotlight is completely fake. Seriously, no one in the boardroom is staring at you. The person you just texted isn't overanalyzing your use of a period instead of an exclamation mark. The spotlight isn't real. But, and this is absolutely crucial, the feeling is incredibly real to your nervous system. Your mind starts doing something really natural, but honestly pretty unhelpful. It starts evaluating. And it's not evaluating the room. It is specifically evaluating you. This whole illusion actually operates like a mechanical process in your brain. Your mind literally steps slightly outside of your body. First, you just experience the moment. Then, instantly, a part of your consciousness detaches, stands a few feet away, and looks back at you to judge how you spoke, how you reacted, how you looked. It happens so lightning fast that it just feels like your normal thought process. But it's actually this distinct, multi-step process of self-evaluation. So why on earth do we do this? Well, it's not a glitch at all. It's a built-in feature. To your brain, being seen and judged favorably by others really, really matters. And I'm not talking about getting likes on social media. I mean this in a primal, evolutionary, life or death kind of way. For thousands of years, being accepted by your tribe literally meant safety, shelter, and food. Rejection meant isolation and, well, extreme risk. Because of that, our brains became hardwired to constantly monitor social signals just to make sure we stay safely in the pack. And because the stakes used to be so incredibly high, the brain got remarkably good at reading these signals. Actually, scratch that. It got a little too good. Nowadays, those ancient internal gears spin so fast that your brain doesn't even bother waiting for actual feedback from the people around you. It just predicts how they might react. It assumes what they're thinking. And whenever there's silence or ambiguity, it nervously fills in the blanks. And let's be honest, it usually fills them in with the absolute worst-case scenario. Thanks to this hyper-fast predictive machinery, a super small moment can start to mutate and grow out of control. You say one completely normal sentence, and your mind puts it on repeat, obsessively scrutinizing how it sounded. You make a tiny facial expression, and your mind panics over how it looked from the outside. You have a 30-second chat, and then spend 30 minutes trying to decode it. The moment becomes massive, not because it actually mattered, but simply because it was social. And to our brains, social moments always carry heavy weight. When you're actively in the moment, you're just reacting. You're present. But the second it passes, you become the observer of your own memory. You create distance. And with distance comes detail. Suddenly, you start noticing things you were completely blind to during the actual event. Your tone of voice, a slightly awkward pause, the very specific, maybe slightly weird word choice you used. Before you know it, the moment feels incredibly significant. It feels highly visible, totally open to harsh judgment, and that is exactly when the feeling deepens into real pressure. It gets heavy. Thoughts like, man, I should have handled that better, or I really could have done that differently, start weighing you down, even if absolutely nothing actually went wrong. And here is the real kicker. This pressure isn't happening because people are judging you more. It's happening because your own awareness of yourself has just become painfully sharp. While you're buried under all that pressure, something really important gets completely missed. We totally forget the broader reality, which is this. Most people are not holding on to your moment at all. They really aren't. They're entirely consumed by their own. They are busy replaying their own words, worrying about their own actions, and stressing over their own impressions. They are completely trapped inside their own internal spotlights, totally oblivious to yours. But your mind, of course, doesn't show you that broader reality. Instead, it acts like this highly restrictive viewfinder, only letting you see the moment from your exact point of view. It literally edits the scene so that your thoughts, your fears, and your interpretations are front and center. Because it completely blocks out the fact that everyone else is just as self-obsessed as you are, your actions feel way more central and way more important to the room than they actually are. So what do we do about this? How do we break the illusion? Well, it actually doesn't start by fighting your mind or aggressively forcing yourself to quote-unquote not care. We all know that trying not to care usually just makes you care way more. Instead, it begins with a really gentle shift in perspective. You just observe the process. Take a deep breath and tell yourself, hey, this is just my mind trying to understand how I was seen. This is just my ancient brain trying to make absolutely sure I'm okay socially. Once you understand that, the harshness starts to soften. It stops being this terrifying feeling of exposure and just becomes a mechanical process you can step back and observe. So the next time you feel that internal spotlight click on during a meeting or right after sending an email, you might still feel the heat of it. But alongside that feeling, you can also see it. You can literally take a step out of the beam and watch how your mind is just unnecessarily highlighting the moment and inflating its importance. That awareness is a real game changer. It changes your entire experience of social anxiety. Because the undeniable truth is, you don't need a red carpet and flashing cameras to feel deeply seen and judged. Your brain can manufacture that feeling literally anywhere. But it's equally true that you do not need to stay trapped under that harsh light long after the ordinary moment has passed. The cameras are packed up, the event is over. You can finally give yourself the profound relief of knowing that not every single moment is being watched. Not every tiny detail or awkward little pause is being noticed by your peers. And most importantly, not every version of you is being judged the way it feels inside your head. Sometimes it is literally just your mind trying to make sense of something incredibly small and accidentally turning it into something massive. Just seeing that trick for what it is, that's usually enough to let the moment shrink right back down to its actual size. And when it shrinks back down to reality, you finally realize what the moment actually is. It's quiet, it's simple, and it's already over. So the next time that imaginary spotlight swings your way in the middle of a totally mundane day, I want to leave you with this. Are you going to let the light blind you, or will you recognize the old rusty machinery projecting it and simply walk out of the beam?